What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to encapsulate it with some weld. I'm going to fix this. I'm going to do it regardless what I have to do to secure the Mallory metal. The one I'm going to put in here, I'm really hoping that I get enough press on it and I won't have to do any of this welding around Mallory. There's some in the back. I mean, it's better than having it fall out, but if you have enough press, you should be able to just press them in without welding on them. And this one's actually a little bit high, but I'm going to try to make this crank look as best as it can be when it leaves my shop. Unfortunately, I can only do so much with this Mallory metal, and it don't look like it's moved, and I really hate to start messing with the welds behind it and trying to make it look a little bit better. So we're gonna start on it and see how much trouble I get into. Okay, I built this up. She's still pretty hot. Marker on both sides of it indicating that if we knock the paint off, we're gone too far. We don't want to dig into here. We want to try to keep this as high as we can. You can see we're way out here. I don't want to grind any more off of this than I have to, so we're going to smooth this back and concentrate on this area because I'm going to be putting a piece of Mallory right there. So I'm going to get going on the grinding. Here we're going to, I always try to attempt to smooth grind my balance jobs, and a lot of times you just take material off the counterweight. You can see somebody's really gone after this crank. And they didn't bother blending it back, they just ground the hell out of it. So I'm going to try to capture this Mallory metal after this job is done, and stick around and I'll show you what I'm going to do there. So we're going to get to grinding right now. Okay. We're going to call that good. Let it cool off and put the mallory metal in. Okay, because this is a 1/2 inch piece of mallory metal, what I did is I put the mallory metal in the chuck, snugged it up, and I'm looking down the chuck to see if that's as close to where I want it, and if not, I move the table, and we're going to put it right there. So I'm going to lock everything down. Everything is locked down. We're going to take it out. That's our mallory, our heavy metal. Now I'm going to put a center drill in the mill, and that should be really close to where we want it. Slow her down. We'll put a drill bit in it. Drill it out, and then we'll ream it. It's a little bit too fast for my liking. Yeah, she's hard. She's been nitrated a couple times. Let's see if we can get through it without tearing the tip off the drill. Oh yeah, she's a sweetie. She's harder than the hinds of hell. Oh, well. Okay, we got her drilled out. Let her cool off and then I'll ream it. Hopefully it don't take the teeth off my ream or the flutes. Okay, what I'm going to do with this piece of Mallory metal is I'm going to put some small grooves in it. I'm going to face it, make sure that it's a little bit shorter than the overall counterweight so it's not hanging out. And I'll break a edge on it, break the edge off of it so I can push it in without it tearing up the hole. And if everything goes right, we'll have a press-in piece and we won't have to weld anything. I have one of my old seat and guide reams. It's a 500 size ream. And we want to push it through as fast as we can without it stalling. We don't want to dwell on the hole. You want to do it as smoothly and as quickly as possible. So you want to make sure you do it all in one clean pass if possible. Let's see here. Yeah, put it on the right way. Okay, so it's reamed out. We're going to break the edges, clean them up because there's quite a burr on that. Then I'm going to probably silicone braze tack this piece of Mallory right there. Heavy metal Mallory. You'll hear me use both words. It means the same. So that's set for just about set for getting metal put in it. Okay, I'm going to make a couple grooves in here. And that's where I'm going to put the silicone bronze. Okay, we'll get back to that when I'm done. Okay, here's our Mallory metal prepped out. I put some light grooves in it. Didn't get too crazy. That's for Loctite 620. We're going to press it in, and that'll be the next step. And then I was going to face this, but I think I'm just going to polish it up. So once it's in the crank, I'll just smooth out the face, make sure there isn't a burr on the opposite side of the crank, and this job should be done. Okay, we're going to try to make this go as efficiently and as quick as we can. You don't want to waste any time with this 620 Loctite. I do not recommend putting it in first. I'm going to start it dry. I'm going to get everything ready. So we want to start it dry. And then we're going to put a ring of 620 Loctite around the top, and we're going to let it bed itself in. We're going to start pressing it. We definitely want to make sure we're pressing it straight. We got it started. It looks like we could be a little bit, we'll try it and see how it goes. Try that. Not straight. We're going to have to do a little bit of adjusting. We want to be straight under it, but unfortunately we're running out of counterweight here. Hopefully that'll get it. That's a lot better. Try that. Okay, we're going. We want to do it as quick as we can. So I did a little bit of smoothing out and blending it. You know, I'm not going to get too crazy about it. I feel that's presentable, better than what was there. Obviously, what was there was working, but I don't want this thing landing on the ground. She's wanting to roll on me. So that's probably as far as I'm going to take it. I may take and blend that back a little bit more, but not too much. That is pretty much the way the crank was before they nitrated. Pretty much taken care of now. I think we're going to call this a done deal. Of course, it will have to be balanced again, but we had it pretty close, or I should say the guy that balances my stuff had it pretty close. I think, you know, we might have to do a little smooth balancing on it. That's done a lot of different ways, but usually what we do is I'll help them with it and we'll throw it up on a belt sander and belt sand it. Or I can take my angle sander and bring some 40 and some 80 grit and just dust some of the weight off if need be. And I was talking about smooth balancing, and that's one way to do it. You can throw it up on a lathe. We're not going to do that. These things are so uneven because they've been ground before, and this crank's been regassed. So we're not going to get into that. A lot of times if he's got to put some holes in it, and some people will just put holes in the crank because it's easier for them to do that, and it is not as much effort as smooth balancing it. So if a few holes have to be picked into the crank and they're quite deep, I usually cap them, and we just drill them a little deeper. Now this cap is about 7 grams. So, and I've got thinner punch marks. I just go to a metal shop and I buy their punches, their knockouts when they run the punch. I used to use super missile rod. I cannot get that in town. I said I was going to silicone braze this. It didn't work as good as I thought it would. I did scarf it out. I scarfed it here, I think here and here, and I used stainless filler rod on it. Seemed to work good. Just trying to capture it. Don't think I'm going to have a problem with it. This one, I'm definitely not going to have a problem with that. I started pressing it here, and I couldn't finish pressing it. I had to run it over to my buddy's. He's got a bigger press, and it took 10 tons to press that in there. So it ain't coming out. And this is to protect the innocent here. There's somebody's name on this crank. If you do see the name on this crank, I just want to let you know through this video, I'm not throwing these people under the bus. I don't know nothing about this crank. It was bought used. I don't know who did what to it and what they did to it. I believe they only ground it and gassed it. So, that being said, I think we're done with this. Hopefully it's just going to be a couple grams of trimming one way or the other, and we're going to do that with sander. We're going to remove, not drill. Hopefully we don't have to pick any holes in it. So that's where we're at on this one.